this night to blinding light. I find my way through endless ways of experience. I'm shown a world with love unfurled. The dream becomes reality, such love should see.
Hey, hello, hello. Here I am, here you are. Well, most of you aren't here. Oh, hold on. You're gonna get music echo. Okay. You know what? The stream is about doing this guy. And I'm gonna get to that. But I keep putting this off and I need to do this. I had a great idea about it last night. This is a custom stamp I ordered. Here's some papyrus bookmarks made from real papyrus. Now, I also have these wonderful skewer McDealies. Yeah, Shane, tell me if the music or if the sound is still weird now that I've plugged in my thingy things. Van Mortis says currently leading missions, so may not chat this player or watch. Fair enough. Fair enough. I've got a bunch of little dealy-doos that I think will work nicely to make a fancy scroll-looking thing. So I thought it'd be really cute to have bookmarks that look like they're scrolls, papyrus scrolls. So it'd be like that, right? And then it would have the word papyrus on the papyrus, in the papyrus font. And then you'd have that to just stick in your book. Super cute. I mean, papyrus doesn't roll the best because, I mean, it is, you know, pretty raw reeds that have just been mashed together real tight. So just want to make sure they're not gonna like break from doing this. Seems to work all right. Dottie, welcome. And Aletha, hello. Shane says it's in one ear, the music in the other. So like you're hearing music from one side and then my vocals from another side. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so I have to figure out how to ink the stamp in such a way that it's not going to make a mess. I know they have like ink pad things, but I don't have one of those. I do have several different kinds of ink. So I'm just gonna see what happens if I just like throw the ink on this cardboard and then just kind of dunk my stamp on it. I'm sure people who do crafts know how to do this very well, but I do not. Aletha says the music is a little loud. Alrighty. tell me if that's better for you. I have no idea if this is too much ink or not enough ink. Yep, it's like too much over there, not enough over here. Shocking since it's a completely uneven surface. Okay, so what happens? Okay. As I suspected, if it's overloaded, you end up with excess. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put on some gloves before I accidentally end up getting black all over myself and everything else. Hey, Quazor, is that how you say your name? Over on Twitch. Quiet Storm is joining us on YouTube. Hello, Quiet Storm. I should put up a little like flashy note on the YouTube stream saying if you have a Twitch stream, could you please go there? Because I need to get enough Twitch viewers to qualify to become a something associate, I think it's called, before I have certain features available to use. So a really annoying way to do this would be to just like take a paintbrush and put it on there. I wonder, so most inky stamp pads that I see are kind of cloth-y. So I wonder what happens if I like soak a paper towel. Does that do the trick? You know, I could have done 2 minutes of research on this on YouTube and found the answer to this. But hey, it's more fun to watch me improvise, right? Megan Patelli on YouTube says, hello, just found your channel, binge watching like crazy. Hey, awesome. Thanks for joining us, Megan. That's no good. Look at that line. So if I press too hard, I get that little line where the stamp stops. Which is why I'm thinking it might just be worth it to just use a brush and paint it directly onto the letters. Alright, let me try the stupid slow way. Quaz over on Twitch says Quaz is probably easier, or well, without a U after that Q, it's hard to know how to say that. And then asks, what is the plan with what I'm doing again? So the big plan for this stream is I'm going to be working on this 3D print. The short-term plan, while people are slowly drifting in, is I'm just experimenting to try to make this funny idea I had for a little bookmark I want to sell at conventions, at my little art booth at conventions. I thought it'd be fun to have a bookmark that is made out of papyrus that has the word papyrus written in the papyrus font on it. If you don't know much about fonts or the world of fonts or graphic design, you may not understand why this is such a funny, cute thing, but the vast majority of graphic designers hate the papyrus font. They think it is one of the worst fonts. It's overused and it should never be used again. And I don't know, I like it. I like the font. And so I think it's funny just to kind of troll them a little bit by doubling down on it, or in this case tripling down. I think the ink I was using was not wet enough because I'm kind of scraping it from the bottom of the well, literally. Yeah, this is a stupid way to do this. I'll probably quickly abandon this and then just, you know, look it up online after the stream, and then maybe show you guys next stream the right way to do it. But hey, it's fun to see the wrong way to do it first. It's like those infomercials where people can't open a bag of chips without splattering it all over themselves in the wall. Alright. Hey, look at that. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. Huh. I'm assuming I can, since this is water-based ink, I can just wipe this off with a damp paper towel and it should be fine. Although, given that it's already kind of a grungy font to begin with, it's not like it's going to be messed up if it has some older flakes of ink on it or whatever. Chrono Strider Gaming over on Twitch says, sounds like the microphone might be outputting in stereo. That would explain why your voice is mostly on one side. I wonder why that would have randomly changed. I'll poke at it real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Let's see. Here is my thing. What's my audio doing? Audio output mode. Capture audio only. No. Use custom device. No. I do not see an option for anything to do with stereo or mono. Quasar says, thinks they encountered some jokes about the papyrus font. Painting over letters seems very inefficient and slow. Yes. Yes, that is kind of misses the point of having a stamp to begin with, doesn't it? Mostly misses it. Alright. Alright. Let's get to the main event here. I'm trying to think of how to describe the way that I like the papyrus font, because it's very easy to say that you like something ironically these days, and I'm wondering if there is it possible to like something in between ironically and non-ironically, because that's what I feel like. It sincerely makes me happy when I see this font. I don't disagree with most of the things that critics of the font have to say about it. It is certainly overused, but I mean, I can't hold that as a negative against a thing. It's like people overquote Monty Python, but that doesn't actually make Monty Python not funny. So I reckon there are aesthetic deficiencies in it as well, and I agree with some of the points and disagree with others. But also, I don't consider myself a great artist, so I feel free to agree with what they're saying and say, well, I just don't see it that way, and I'm probably wrong, and that's okay. All right, let's look at what we got here. Oh, almost. Megan over on YouTube says, worse than I think it's Sanskrit. Sanskrit. Oh, you mean a font that's worse than Papyrus? Quasar says, sound is also pretty desync with the video. Not sure if it's the same on YouTube. And then exactly, you can like something even if it's too mainstream. I think that's allowed. Yeah, so this happened on the last stream on Twitch as well. The desync between audio and visual. And honestly, it might have to do with Twitch. It might have to do with because I'm running on a different computer out here in the garage than when I run, when I'm doing ZBrush and stuff. So I'll just cover my mouth whenever I talk. That way you won't be able to tell that I'm out of sync. Is that fair? That should work. Let's catch up. What's going on with these guys? These are 3D prints that I got from a 3D printer shop that my cousin is a part of. This was the first thing that I sent them. It was supposed to look like this, but the hair and necklace and eyeballs and all that stuff are separate subtools in ZBrush, and somehow they did not come through in the OBS. Is that right? The OBS format? Just the core head part did. And I guess through some form of communication, they thought this is actually what I wanted, which is silly, but whatever. So anyway, they printed it, and they, what are they going to do with it? So I ended up paying to get this one. My cousin was doing me a favor and letting me do a print for free there, and then I got this, and it was useless. So I had to pay for this one. But the cool thing is that now I have a very good thing to experiment on before I start cleaning up this guy for doing a mold and cast. Let's see. Quasar on Twitch is saying, not bothered by it, just letting you know. Well, I'm bothered by it. I would like that to not be the case, but I'm tempted to get a new computer. This is like a 6-year-old laptop that I'm running out here in my art studio to do this, and obviously it's running a lot of things. It's running OBS, Chrome in several different windows, the music, I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do about it yet. So last time I did a test where I was using some gesso on one half and some some freeform air. Freeform air is a relative to this freeform sculpt. It's just a lot fluffier and softer. It's from Smooth On. And it looks like the results are more or less the same. The color is different because I was also trying 2 different primers. This is not the ideal scientific way to test this because obviously you would want one part with gesso and one type of primer, and then you get my point. There should be 4 quadrants, instead there's 2. But because the results are so similar, I think it's okay. Let's see how close we can get on this here. All right, so you can see this texture there. Now look at the bridge of the nose here. That is without the gesso or any filler treatment. That's essentially what the gesso is doing, is filler. On the gray side as well, you can see very clearly where the gesso went up to there and then stopped. And then this whole area of the nose, it's very porous. And there's still definitely texture where I did use the gesso, but I kind of like the texture. It's, you know, it's not exactly skin, but it's something, and it's not unskin-like. You kind of see it very similar on this side as well. You know, it kind of hints at pores to a certain degree. On a half-scale bust, you don't want to get too craggly with the pores because, you know, obviously it's half scale, so if you saw full scale pores, it would look like the person has a pore condition. So anyway, what this test is basically showing me is that, hey, gesso is the way to go because it's way easier. You don't have to mix a 2-part thing. It's easier to spread around, etc., etc. One thing I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do, regardless of the finish I put on it, is I'm going to need to go in and clean up details like the eyebrows, probably the eyelids to a certain degree, probably the scars, because you could make them out. They're pretty soft. See, here you've got this thing where he's got a tattoo of 3 different, you can't even see that third one hardly at all. It's pretty much totally washed away. But he's supposed to have 3 kind of spearheads or arrowhead tattoos there, and then he also has these scars that were roughly stitched together over them. And so I have a feeling that's going to get almost completely wiped out when I put gesso over it. Also, details on the lips are going to be, I'm going to have to resculpt those. Yeah, and then you can see down here on the bottom, see if I can get the light to where you can see it well. Yeah, there you can see it. You can see the striations of the printing layers. So I'm probably going to end up sculpting over this entire base almost completely. I'm also probably going to redo the back here. This is a weird little thing. This, I think they had to do this to, see how it's hollow under here? I think they had to make this little hatch. There you go. To let the uncured material kind of pour out of there like sand. Anyway, I think I'm going to end up redoing the entire back area here, just because mostly I'm not really happy with the profile. So when you see it at this angle, looks fine. Stupid camera, stop doing that. Looks fine, but then when you turn it just enough to where you start to see this swooping thing no longer occluded, it's a weird, like, you've got an angle going this way and then like suddenly it juts out of there. You don't see a nice smooth arc. So I'm probably going to, I don't know yet. I'm going to experiment. I'm gonna try to make it look better. The hair, I love the way the hair ended up in this print. I'm not sure that it's safe to mold it raw like that though. So, probably gonna have to ask some folks about that. Hey Nasir. Nasir's on YouTube. He says he needs some lotion. My boy's looking ashy. Yeah. I mean, that's almost literally what I'm going to be doing. Oh, another thing I need to do is adjust this. This little medallion he ends up with in the book, trading medallions with someone that he thinks is a bitter enemy that's going to betray and kill all his people. And then, well, I'm not going to get into spoilers. Anyway, they end up trading their medallions, and the description in the book does not match what I did here. So I've got to scrape away what's there. And I'm going to do that right now because I'm just kind of curious how well this stuff carves. I have a feeling it's not going to be super easy. One thing I learned, another valuable thing I learned was I think I was probably holding this part here, and I was probably either brushing or I was probably sanding up here, and it snapped. So that was a wonderful warning to be very careful with the sculpt. So let's see how this carves, shall we? Ah, actually that's pretty good. It's a pretty low density foamy kind of feel. It feels like low density polyurethane foam, which is something I got to use a lot when I went to the Art Institute of Seattle, because they got a lot of that material donated by Boeing, just a lot of cast off chunks that is used somewhere in airplane production, I'm not sure where. But yeah, it's very similar to that. It just kind of carves like really soft sandstone. Nasir says, Josh, with this kind of bust, won't it be off balance when you mold it? It's going to be heavier. Well, I think that this whole back section here keeps it balanced pretty darn well. Like it. I'm confident it will be fine. Good question, though. I'm also not sure if it's going to be cast solid or if I'll be able to do a roto cast of it. It is, I mean, this is an awful lot of volume. It would be ideal to not actually fill up the whole thing. So I'll be experimenting with different resins to see which one I can get to both capture all the detail and not have to fill up that whole cavity. That's funny that the lyric just said hand in hand forever, and I'm talking about trading hand medallions. Coincidences, am I right? Yeah, okay. So I'm toying with the idea of actually like carving some of these scars, carving them in more so that they don't get completely lost when I do the gesso layer. In fact, I'm not just toying with the idea, I am actually doing it. How's that for decisiveness for you? I don't know if this is the best tool for that. Nasir says, so does the shape of the base mean something, or is it just a design? Oh, Nasir, you know me. Everything has to mean something. This is the proving disc that is, well, it's, how would you put it? It's super important to Bowmark and his culture. This is where the people have to prove that they can be king by literally killing whoever tries to take their place. So this is a bronze disc, and these are kind of like bamboo poles, and they put it over a river of lava, like, 20 feet over a river of lava, and then the two people have to fight on it. This is obviously not to scale, but, it's about, 15 feet across or something like that. It's very much a part of several inciting incidents in the plot. And one of the main reasons he has to go on his adventure, and he has to learn to do hand-to-hand combat so that when he gets back, he can save his people from a usurper. Now that the camera's closer, I'm more likely to wander off. Sorry about that. Hey, I've got 14 people on Twitch. Thank you so much, guys. I super appreciate that. I posted on social media asking people to come help me out today, because I'm trying to get associate status on Twitch, and it looks like people are good to me. Thank you so much. Even if you just have it on and your pets are watching it, still counts. I'm also thinking maybe I want to go in and deepen the parting of the lips here. I feel like the print kind of diminished that detail for some reason. He has such beautiful lips. I hate for them to be mussed up. And I don't even know how to do these subtler scars well. They look so good in ZBrush, but I don't know if they're quite reading on this sculpture. I can't remember what I did, but however I ended up sculpting it, it really looked like those scars you see that are like poorly or roughly stitched, and so the skin gets kind of pulled in where the stitches aren't close enough together. But then I also kind of foolishly put them over where the tattoos are supposed to be, which is just kind of visually, I mean, from a design perspective, it's not the best thing to do. But I also like the idea that life often doesn't deliver you doesn't deliver what design would always prefer. Yeah, I'm just gonna need to completely So, I mean, because it's going to be done in faux bronze, the tattoo can't just be a color on the skin. So I raised it a little bit on the sculpt to try to get the impression that it's there. I could have also lowered it, and I wasn't sure which way to go with that, but Aletha on YouTube says, Jace has been trying to get your name out on Twitch. Awesome! Yeah, we did a follow trade the other day. Quasar on Twitch says, nice to chill with the stream, so I don't mind leaving it on. And then he's got a little guy holding up a boombox. How do you get those? I thought I needed to have something special to be able to get fun little whatever those are. They're kind of emoticons, but not really? I don't know. What are those? What are those and how do you get them? I've only ever really watched 1 or 2 Twitch channels before, and it's usually when I'm at work, so I'm not like super paying attention. I'm just kind of listening to them. So there's a lot of stuff I do not understand about Twitch at all. Alright, let's see what happens if I scrape these little surfaces here. Not going to get rid of the funky lines that are there. It's hard for me to see if you guys can see the lines on my camera viewer. But yeah, I have a strong feeling I'm just going to sculpt over this whole thing. There are the heads of every previous king that ever fought on the disc, and one, this last one here on this concentric ring, is Bowmark's father. But yeah, you can hardly make that out at all. Like I did portraits of, I can't remember how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know, 14 or 15 previous kings. That's some serious dedication to world building, you guys. Quasar on Twitch says, affiliate gets 1 slot for emote, I think, that you can add to your channel. When someone subscribes to your channel, $4.99, they get all emotes and can use them globally on any channel. That's one of the perks of subscribing. Oh, cool, okay. So I could make, so I want to make something that people would find a valuable thing to like take to other channels to express themselves as well. That's super good to know. Thank you. Thank you, Quasar. Or Kazor, or however you said. Kaz. Okay, there's a reason the book that this guy is in is called The Scarred King. One of the things I really wanted to do with this book, well, it became a trilogy. With this trilogy, with this all the books that take place in this world, is try to do a kind of more realistic take on the fantasy genre, where physics is respected and biology and that kind of stuff. And so when people do a lot of action-y things, they're going to take a lot of damage, and it's going to show on their body, you know, assuming they live. And the stories are usually about the ones who live. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Oh man, I do not know how these eyes are going to work. I'm probably just gonna have to sculpt over them completely. I can't wait till 3D prints are just like the same quality you see on the screen. That'll be the day. I want this disc to look like it's made out of cast bronze, and then it's kind of beaten into place. I was researching how, you know, primitive bronze casting, how it would work, especially for large pieces like this, and it mostly comes down to having superfine sand where they could either sculpt something in clay and then mush it into the sand, or they could actually just sculpt it right into the sand and then pour the molten bronze into that. And so I definitely want it to feel pretty crude by modern standards. It should not be machine precision when it comes to symmetry and surface treatment. Alright. I think I'm ready to start gessoing this baby up. Nasir just popped on over to Twitch. Hey, thanks, Nasir. Says, how this works. Just signed up for Josh. I know nothing here. You are almost as, well, you're actually more a Twitch newbie than I am now. Congrats. I was just thinking, one of the things I have on YouTube that I don't know how to replicate on Twitch is there's a description box. Oh, actually, I do know how to do that, come to think of it. Because there's a description box under my videos that have links to, hey, here's where you can go see my website and buy my book and blah, blah, blah. And there's actually fancier versions of that in Twitch. I realized I actually do have a link to my website. Couldn't figure out how to get the art centered, so it's like all crooked and you only see one corner of it. But I'll get to that at some point. Alright. What brush do I want to use for gessoing? Preferably something that's not going to get bristles all over it, which most of my brushes are so cheap that that is continually a concern. Probably want something I can tap to avoid getting a bunch of brush strokes. So it needs to be fairly soft as well. Let me try this one. Aletha says, haha, 40 minutes later, YouTube sends me a notification. Hey, Josh is live. Really? I don't know how that notification works at all. And Aletha says, are you still going to get your own 3D printer? Yeah, actually, that's a kind of a scary story. I bought it just from a dude on a Facebook news group for 3D printing, and he wanted me to pay the shipping and handling, which was going to end up being, I don't know, like a couple $100, and the machine itself was already $1,000. So I was like, I don't know, no thank you. And then he came back at me with, hey, tell you what, if you pay me right now $1,000, I'll do the shipping and handling. Just send it friends and family over PayPal, because friends and family, there's no like additional charging fee or whatever, right? The thing I didn't know and looked up recently, because I was like, what did I just do? There's no scam protection. Like, you can't reverse payment if you pay someone with friends and family. I mean, that's why they don't charge you, because they don't provide any coverage for that. So I sent this total random stranger on the internet $1,000 blindly, trusting that he was going to send me a machine. So, guys, I'm 43. I'm too old to be making these kind of mistakes. And I messaged him like a week later. I was like, hey, did you ever send that out? And he replied back relatively quickly and said, oh, sorry, I was out of town on on family vacation or something like that. It's like, oh, okay. That's a thing that can happen, fine. And then it's been like another week beyond that. And I think I was getting to the point where I was about to message him again. That's when I was looking up the policy on PayPal, and then he actually got back to me and sent me a photograph of the tracking paper or whatever, tracking receipt with the number on it. I was like, oh god. Yeah, so should be getting it at some point soon. Megan P 2017 over on Twitch says, me too, I'm with you, Nasir Feed. Man, getting all these new people to Twitch. Twitch should be paying me. You hear that, Twitch? Thank you, Megan, by the way. KP Man also claims that I have a bomb. Or that I am a bomb. Both of those things are true. Van Mortis says, well, I hope he ain't a bomb. Yeah, I'm thinking of those, there's monsters in Final Fantasy that are literally bombs, and when you kill them, they blow up. That is not what I am. I'm thinking actually now that I'm gessoing over this part, I probably should have just left it raw, because then the epoxy clay would stick to it really well. Although, epoxy clay sticks really well to almost everything, so that's probably not actually something I need to be concerned about. Got hair in there. Hair is everywhere. Screaming infidelities. Come on. There we go. Aletha says, there were a lot of scams I had to watch out for when horse shopping. Oh yeah? stinks. Yeah, I mean, the internet makes it, it's quite a playground for scammers, not surprisingly. Quizor over on Twitch says, "Lol, at least the story has a happy ending, right?" Well, we'll see. We'll see when I actually get the box, but it has a happy ending. But I'm feeling good about it now. Says, "You got lucky. I take a lot of people would have ran off with $1,000. Yeah." Dan Mortis says 1,000. Never 1,001, maybe. You know, probably would have done it either way. I mean, a scammer is going to take whatever you can give them. I really don't know how thick to plaster this on. When I did the test, I did it fairly thin. And if you missed the beginning where I was showing that, that's kind of how that surface ended up, which is pretty good. I like it. Here's the nose where I did not put it, and it's still really porous. So because this print cost me a couple $100, I definitely want to be careful with it. I'm going to sneak up on the thickness of it. And down here on the bottom where it's like wood and metal, or it's supposed to represent wood and metal, it's not as important to get it perfect. I'm almost certain I'm sculpting over almost all of this. But it should go pretty fast because the foundation is, you know, the design is there, and so I don't have to do all the kind of measuring and back and forth kind of stuff that you have to do if you're sculpting traditionally from scratch. Megan on Twitch says, "Playing Dead Island and got distracted watching. Just looked up to a spoiler. No longer alive. Or a sploder. No longer alive." People still play Dead Island? It's amazing. I think because the surface of this material is so porous, it's almost like sandpaper, and especially when I'm jabbing my brush in between these little spokes here, it's wanting to pull the bristles out really bad. But I also want to make sure I get enough in those cracks so that the when the rubber gets down in there, it's not going to be grabbing onto really toothy, super textury material, because that's going to make it tear really easily. Will make the mold not last as long. That's just something I kind of picked up. The more molds I do, the more I realize that there's simple little design decisions you can make that can radically affect how the health and longevity of your molds. And that is one of them. If you've got narrow little areas where the rubber is going to go in, well, the more narrow areas you have, the the rougher that is on your mold, but also doubly so if they've got rough texture inside those little cracks. Beeman on Twitch asks, what did you make the sculpture out of? It looks like pine. It looks really amazing, by the way. So I did this sculpture in ZBrush and then had it 3D printed down where you live in Portland. I have a cousin who started a 3D printing company down there. And so they did this for me. Now I'm gonna just super pile on the gesso down here. Since I'm gonna be sculpting over it anyway, I might as well see how far I can push the coverage with gesso. Yeah, obviously the thicker it gets, the harder it is to not have brush artifacts. Nasir on YouTube says, Josh, what's the difference between scars that are flat or lower than the skin level and scars that are thick and appear popping out more than the skin level? What effect they add to the character? Because I've read that thick scars are the ones that went through an aggressive healing phase, which may show the character went through a very hard time compared to flat scars. That's actually a really interesting thought. For most of Bowmark's journey in the book, he is accompanied by Skola, and Skola has very deft little fingers and is very good at patching up his animals, i.e. Bowmark. So Bowmark gets medical treatment usually right away after injuries. And that is one of many services that Skola provides to Bowmark, and that often Bowmark is not grateful enough for. because Skull is kind of a prickly personality, so it's hard to be grateful to people that you're also really annoyed by. Imagine having a doctor who didn't really consider you to be a human, who considered you to be like a farm animal. That's kind of what the relationship is like. Hey Damon over on Twitch says, glad I kept pushing the Twitch. Quasar says, good on you. I asked Josh once during YouTube stream about Twitch. And Van Mortis says, don't be a bully, Damon. Pushing little old Twitch for lunch money is bad behavior. And then Damon said, the selfie cam is still out of sync with the sound. Yep. See, I'm covering my mouth so you won't notice that. And Quasar said, yep, sound is weirdish. Just don't look at his mouth. Easy. I have a friend who may help me get a new computer set up to do my studio streaming. And that may solve this problem. It would certainly be nice to solve the problem of spending like 45 minutes before every stream trying to get this camera to actually be recognized by OBS. OBS really doesn't like this camera. But I don't know if it's OBS or if it's my computer in conjunction with OBS, because I've had less problems with it on my living room computer. I should note, I tried spraying primer over this print without doing the gesso, and that's what you're seeing in all these kind of rougher areas like this. It just soaks in, like it will not create a skin over the surface. That's why I have to go in by hand with a brush and do this. I say that because I was literally asking myself as I was doing this, I was like, wait, why am I spending so long with a paintbrush instead of just spraying? And then I remembered, oh, because I already tried it and it didn't work, that's why. Damon, your Party of the Otterman? Are you talking about the oh, I feel bad, I can't remember his name. The Guild Wars 2 streamer, Bog Otter. I can't remember his name, even though I met him and hugged him once. Damon says, I watch VODs mostly. I work at a nursery and it's crazy busy time. Oh yeah, I'll bet. Wow. Richie, thank you. Nasir, you're so hungry? I can only feed your soul, cannot feed your body. I mean, maybe Twitch has a feature for that, but I don't think YouTube does. One of the main reasons I started taking people's advice seriously to get onto Twitch was I was looking into all of the features that Twitch has, and they're just like all these things that are amazing. I'm like, why doesn't YouTube streaming have these things? This little area in here, that is bad. I adjusted his hair from a previous model that I did to try to make the mold better. And I mean, I quote unquote fixed this area considerably, but it still needs more fixing. I'll be able to do that with epoxy clay. Hello, Linda. Welcome. Oh wow, Damon, bringing out the paid advertisements for me over on Twitch. Thank you for that. Quasar says, I think general consensus is YouTube is better for pre-recorded stuff and Twitch is for live. Yep. It's a good way to put it. But since I had zero recognition over on Twitch, I was reticent to jump over there if I had to abandon all my YouTube followers. Yeah, but then, was it you, Damon, that pointed out Restream.io? Someone did. They were like, you can do both at once. And I was like, what? Just started doing that last week, and it's been fantastic. Except for being out of sync on Twitch, of course. That's the one downside, but I think I'll figure out how to fix that sooner or later. I think I'm going to use a smaller brush for the eyes. Otherwise, I'm going to end up piling up a lot of gesso in the corners unnecessarily. Damon says, wasn't me, can't claim the credit. But look, already bouncing around 20 views on Twitch. Yep. I am impressed. Especially since the last Twitch stream I did, I think had 2 to 3 people. I've been talking to my friend James Portnow from Extra Credits, and he was saying that I can probably do some show with them at some point. I was like, that's cool. I think I want to think harder about what that would be and make sure that my process is down, and you know, technical things like being out of sync and stuff like that are taken care of before I do something that big time. I just learned the other day, I think yesterday, I learned what a raid is on Twitch, which is where it sounds like what it is one Twitch streamer encourages all of their fans, everyone watching them, to go all at once to someone else's live stream as kind of a promotional bump. Cross-promotional thing. And then also there's a way to host other channels on your channel when you're not live, which that's super cool. Like, there's just all these features that Twitch has thought of that YouTube doesn't have for some reason. Probably because they were in a hurry to try to compete with Twitch, and they just got whatever they could out ASAP, and they'll probably be adding that stuff slowly. At least I would hope they would be. Quitter says, don't have to instantly jump the ship. Slowly transition is fine. I'm not sure it's still against the TOS, but partners might still not be allowed to stream elsewhere during the Twitch stream. You're not a partner though, so should be fine. And as I know, a lot of people don't really even care about that. Yeah, actually, I was talking to someone about that, and it was Joe over on So Much Monsters. Yeah, someone on his stream started looking into it because I was asking about that, and they couldn't find it in the terms of service for a partner anymore. But yeah, I don't know how realistic me ever becoming a partner is. I think that's generally what happens if you're like really big time, and most of those people are doing game stuff, they're not doing art. But you never know. Again, because these nostrils are so deep, I'm going to make sure that they're super smooth in there so that the mold rubber can slide out super easy. Don't want any toothiness in there. Aletha says you're out of sync on YouTube too, but that's okay. Wow. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about being out of sync. I'm gonna look into a new computer. I mean, I have a computer. I need to look into getting it updated and working. I have a new old computer. That's what I have. But certainly will be more powerful than this 6-year-old laptop that I'm working off of right now. Van Mortis says, maybe they'll only follow 2 people and only look at their channels. So you don't have a good read of the Twitch landscape, do you? Quasar says, I would assume gaming is much more competitive too. Yeah, you know what? It's a lot easier to record footage of you playing a game than it is to make sculptures. So there's probably a lot more people doing the gaming thing. Now I'm not sure, I think that every time I put another coat of gesso on, it's going to take on a slightly different surface property because more of the little pits, little micro pits, are going to be filled. So I want to be careful not to have a different number of layers on different parts of the skin, or it's going to look like he's got combination skin problems. Am I right, ladies? Another area where it probably gets unnecessarily deep, convoluted. Just for comparison, here's the first print that I did, and you can see how crazy his hair sticks out. I mean, it's much more dynamic as a result, and I like that a lot better, but doing the molds for this was just ridiculous. Like, I had to do a little vent off of every single one of these. I think there are probably 20 vents, which makes every time I do a mold, I'm ending up spending just ridiculous amounts of time on it. So this is kind of the vision is compromised a little bit for the sake of production. Yeah, Letha, how's your new horse Sinoni doing? By the way, everyone, Sinoni, Aletha's horse, is named after a character from the book that this guy's in, called the Scarred King Trilogy, that you should all check out as soon as I publish it. Sometime this year, hopefully. If you want to know the moment that book comes out, you could go to my website, and there'll be a little pop-up that'll pop up after 20 seconds or so to sign up for my newsletter, and then I will certainly be updating people via the newsletter when it's available. Over on Twitch, there's a link to my website just below the video. I assume it's probably different on mobile, I don't know. And then on YouTube, there's a link to my channel in the description. Oh, sorry, I changed the focus. Do I not have it on autofocus? I do. Why is it not? Why is it not autofocusing? Letha says, Sononi is doing well. I get to take her home on Tuesday. Nasir says, I have a nameless hedgehog. I shall name him Skola. Oh wow, that is the perfect name for a hedgehog. Skola has a lot of hedgehoggy attributes, for sure. Letha agrees. Nasir says, weirdly, he has a moody personality, so I think the name fits very well. Letha says, and they are somewhat prickly. Haha. I was bit by a hedgehog once. Really? I didn't know they ever got that aggressive. Is it because you were feeding it? Nasir says, mine goes berserk when he smells food. Got me many times. Damon posted a link to my website over on Twitch. Thank you very much, Damon. Quasar says, I don't know much about creative part of Twitch. I heard stories about people getting partnered in like 6 months or less. I would assume gaming is much more competitive too. Van Mortis says, maybe only follow 2 people. Oh, got that part already. Van Mortis says, need to get a bot, Damon, to auto do that stuff. Yes. Yes, I need to figure out how to set up bots to do that. Might be something that you have to be associate status to get to do. I don't know. Hey, did you guys notice that I've got art cycling up there now? I saw that on Jace's Twitch. I was like, that's the coolest thing. How do you do that? And they were like, it's just a feature in OBS. You just do slideshow. It's like, I can't believe I've been using OBS for 8 months or whatever and never bothered to notice that. Damon says, I'm too busy to manage a bot for not my stream. Fair. That is fair. That should be my job. Kaiser says, Nightbot doesn't really need managing though. A couple of basic commands for media. And auto spam. Yeah, I've got to look into how to set that up. Well, I'm on 2 coats and I feel like it's still a bit rough. However, thinking I'm gonna try sanding it. But man, wouldn't it be cool if I didn't have to sand it? The answer to that is yes. Yes, it would be cool if I didn't have to sand it. Damon says, if Josh hasn't done it, I'll look into it when it gets crazy hot in the summer and slows down. I am a big proponent of doing the job that you're getting paid for before doing free work for other people. I agree with Damon on that one. Quasar says, Josh Foreman, if you're interested in looking into it, Nightbot is free and available for everyone. At least it used to be. Pretty easy to set up. Done through web. So it's not a direct Twitch tool. It's something you have to like set up on a with a different account and direct it to Twitch. Is that how that works? I'll definitely look into it.
Bible says life passes like a shadow.
Aletha says, when hedgehogs bite, they don't let go if you pull away. So I had to stand there and wait till it let go. I don't remember why it bit me. I think it was just grumpy. Nasir says, next week I'm getting a couple of guinea pigs. I'm naming the male Josh. Any suggestions for the female? Well, I mean, you might as well go all the way and call the female Heather. And then you can marry us in a cute little ceremony. I mean, marry the guinea pigs together. Don't you marry the guinea pigs. That would be weird. Oh, Dottie said, why not name her Heather? And Nasir says, that'd be weird. I think that's the ultimate tribute to be named after a guinea pig. Quasar over on Twitch says, hedgehog bites must be scary. I mean, all the hedgehog footage I've seen online is just super cute, where they like roll and unroll and like munch on little goodies and stuff. Quasar says, exactly, they're cute, so their bites must be crazy evil. That's how that works. It's like a proportional equation. The cuter a thing is, the more crazy evil its bite must be. Makes me think of the, what is that? The pet's name in Dark Crystal that the female has. It's like this cute little fuzzball, but then it opens its mouth and it's just this massive, like, shark maw. Alright, I've done 2 fairly even coats now. I think I'm gonna let it be and sand that down when it dries. But I am going to do a coat over all the hair. Actually, I'm wondering if I have a better brush for that. Like a really round brush might be a good thing. The Citadel Shade brush might be good. Let's see. Nasir on YouTube says, "Don't believe everything on the internet, Josh. Hedgehogs are indeed cute, but they're evil at the same time." That's awesome. I love cute, evil things. Even getting some bristles off of this really expensive brush. I think this material just really likes to grab onto brush hairs. So it's so sandpapery. Alita on YouTube says, talking about being bit by critters, I've been bit a lot. I've been bit by dogs, cats, hedgehogs, ferrets, a small monkey, Codamundus? I don't even know what that is. Rats, hamsters, mice, snakes, a horse, a sugar glider, and emu. Sounds like the war stories of working on a petting zoo. Nasir says, "Yeah, Letha, I understand your situation. Mine escaped the cage the other day and bit my toe. You got me by surprise while watching TV." Wow. Maybe it's just their way of saying hello. Quasar on Twitch says, "All things must be balanced. Can't be just all the cute. There's always a dark side." So the 3D printer that I bought could never do a print this big. Like, the print size is like, I don't know, much smaller. But the detail is much better, and I won't have to do as much finishing, if I understand it correctly. Assuming everything works as designed. But I'm going to have to print things. If I want to do half-scale busts like this, I'm going to have to print them in like 8 pieces or something and then stitch them all together. But I think even then the stitching them together part will be faster than having to do all this prep work. did anyone play Phantasy Star 2? It was on Genesis. The synth line on this song is like exactly, there's a track in there that sounds exactly like this. It's so nostalgic. I don't think anyone here is old enough to have played that. Tool Bezzy popped over in YouTube and said, "Hi from Turkey." Hello, hello, welcome. Sorry if my welcome is out of sync with my mouth. Something I'm working on every day, trying to learn to sync my voice with my mouth. Again, I'm getting really heavy here in the nooks and crannies because I don't need texture in there. You can't see it unless you like turn your statue up and down and shine a flashlight in there. So there's no reason for it to be all rough and craggy in there, and good reason to make it smooth so that the mold won't tear up when it pulls the original and all the casts out of it. Here, like, there's this little, can you see that gap there? There's this little gap between these two dreadlocks that you can only see if you hold it at like 2 or 3 very particular angles, and so it's like, why bother? I'm just gonna fill that in. This here says, "I'm not much of a gamer, Josh. I get dizzy by only holding the controller." Wow, that's hardcore. Man, you know, whenever I think, oh, I'm just going to brush over this surface with one color, that should take a couple minutes. Why does that never work? Why does it never end up only taking a couple minutes? Nasir on YouTube says, Josh, we don't want to rush anything, but you have an approximate date of when you're going to publish the hardcover books, so we can save for it from now. The hardcover, boy, that's a good question. I don't know. You know, to be honest, it probably will depend on how well the regular books sell, like if it's even worth it or not. Yeah, because I can't justify taking time away from pushing towards the regular release to do the special edition when I don't even, you know, if 12 people end up buying the book, then it's like, well, there's really no point in making a special edition, right? But if we get some healthy sales and they keep going for a while, then yeah, I'll make it a priority sooner rather than later. Been listening to all these self-publishing podcasts, reading all these articles about it and stuff, and the more I research that stuff, the more cynical I get about the idea that anyone knows what the heck they're talking about. Like, I think some people got lucky being at the right time, right place, right time, with the right kind of content. Happened to have, you know, the right, what's the word for that? Influencer, the right influencer, like, stumbled across their stuff and tweeted about it or something, you know what I mean? Like, these things that you can't really quantify or come up with a system for how to make that happen. It doesn't stop people from writing a million books and articles and podcasts about how they did it, and how you too can become a successful self-published author if you just follow their 12 easy steps and pay them $300 for their course. But yeah, I think the vast majority of it is just luck. And I mean, that's granted, you have to have good work to begin with, right? Like, there are plenty of really good authors out there who can't make a living at it, and there are plenty of really mediocre authors that also, well, some that do make a living out of it, but more that don't. But presuming you have good work, and you did all the right steps according to whatever particular system you follow, I do not think that is even a higher than random chance of success with that. That's just my opinion based on seeing so many different models and so many different opinions on it. Nasir says, I'm getting every editing of the book. Start with paperback first. Awesome. Now, as long as you and like 50,000 other people feel the same way, we'll be good. Aletha says, I'm hoping I get the right time, right content luck with my lit RPG series. I hope so too. Everyone should check out Aletha's work by going to searching for AJ Baki on Amazon. You can see her amazing assortment of books that she's written. She is quite the go-getter. If you like fun, whimsical, gamey type fantasy stuff, I don't know, are all your books game-ish, like, or just some of them? Nasir says, Josh, you do realize that you have to market your book by paying others to talk about it, like your YouTube channels that are dedicated to book reviews and Instagram accounts. I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, we're gonna have to advertise. A lot of that comes down to contacts, to your network of who knows you and who likes you. Yeah, and that's what I meant when I said influencers. Those are the influencers that need to care about your work and tell others about it. Aletha says, the Hidden Level series is gaming related. The rest are adventure fantasy. Sometimes with goofy bad puns in it. Sometimes with goofy bad puns. Nasir says, Aletha has books, or is Josh being sarcastic? No, I'm not being sarcastic for once in my life. Aletha has many books. In fact, I helped her make a commercial for her books a couple years ago. Did some special effects where her hair catches on fire and she makes cats rain from the sky. It's epic. Aletha, send me a over Facebook, send me a link to that YouTube commercial for your books, and I'll pop it up here on the stream. Trying to be careful not to press too hard on the back of the head here and snap the base. Alright, thanks, Alith. I'll pop that up as soon as I'm done with this guy. Which should be any minute. You just hang on, folks. You're about to see some of the most incredible special effects in a book commercial that have ever been created. Okay. Look at everything. Yeah, he's definitely gonna need sanding, but I think that's pretty good. Let that dry for a couple hours at least. Okay. All right, let's see how amazing I can be at getting my my screen to actually pop up here. And this here says, Josh, 2 problems that I faced while writing my graphic novel is 1, naming the characters. I found that very hard. At what point do I start the story, the place, the dialogue, extra? Man, there's so many ways, so many authors do it. What I like to do personally, because I like to think of what are the themes that I want to explore in a book before I start doing plot and stuff. I tend to get ahead of myself and I think of really fun set pieces. You know, like, oh, what if this guy is fighting on the back of a giant that rises up out of the water and it's like fighting with a village that's on an iceberg. And so I was like, that needs to be in a story. And then sometimes I'll work backwards from there and say, okay, what are the themes that a story like that can explore? And then I'll develop that with my mom, who does most of the actual writing part, the hard part. Okay, let's see here. I've got. Let me turn off the slideshow. Turn off the music. Turn off the playlist. Turn off me. Turn off the overlay. What else do I have? Okay, music is good. Now I just gotta figure out how to show. Is this it? Display. Whoa, there we go. Okay. Now, if I put this stuff away. Woo! You can tell how old my computer is by how many icons I have on my desktop. Okay, but to get to Aletha's incredible commercial, I've got to go to the internet and go to my Facebook. There we go. Oh, it's just taking a long time. Okay. Man, this is so cool. I think there should be a whole stream that's just this. There we go. Frank.
You can't send my marble home with you. So here we have AJ Baki, the author of the Worlds of Kilter series and the Hidden Level Trifecta. What is a trifecta?
Well, sometimes trifecta is used as a term for the first 3 horses at the beginning of a race, but I actually used it as the other definition for 3 grand events coming together. I think very highly of my books.
Okay. Alrighty.
So, what was the motivation for these books of yours?
My motivation was to be able to entertain and make people smile.
Well, isn't that just lovely?
What is your favorite character?
What was the question?
What?
I was enjoying my coffee. It's really good coffee.
What is your favorite character?
My favorite character? Actually, that's a hard decision. I think I like this whole devouring parrot yak best. Because you know, skinny.
So, who did you write your books for?
Oh, you know, I wrote them for cats all around the world.
Every one of them?
Every one of them.
Okay. What's your catchphrase?
Cats are attracted to power. So as you can see, obviously, I am a very powerful person.
Your hair, it's a little roughed up. Is it roughed up? What? It doesn't look quite right.
Are you sure? Is it... There. Is that better?
Yes. Yes.
Will you stop that? I am trying to concentrate. Alright. What got you writing these stories in the first place?
Well, I just had all these stories inside of me, just looking for a way to get out. Finally, they escaped. They got lost, but they made it.
String.
Are you sure you don't want the string? It's pretty fun. Due to the unfortunate incident of the interviewer getting turned into a cat, I actually didn't get around to, you know, showing off my books. So, here they are. Aren't they adorable?
Well, there you go. Okay. Now, the question is... No, don't go there. Do I know how to get back to my stream? There we go. Hey, I'm mostly back. Nope, that's not the right one. Now, I'm super good at this. Oh, there we go. Hey, here I am. I'm back. We did it, everyone. I went to a video, and then I went back to OBS, and in the meantime probably, like, showed a bunch of passwords and stuff that people can hack me now. Anyway, oh, my little thingy's gone. I think I'm gonna go to see the Avengers movie, and that's gonna be cool, I hope. And let me see if I can figure out how to get back to people's comments. Okay, so Okay, Aletha says, yay, the effects you added made it awesome. Of course. Of course. Nasir says, Josh, 2 problems that I faced with writing my graphic novel is 1, naming the characters. I found it was hard. 2, at what point do I start the story and place the dialogue extra? Okay, I already read that and tried to answer that and probably failed at answering that. Aletha said, the old awful covers, haha. I have better covers for some of them now. And Nasir says, that's so cute. Heart, heart, heart. And what do we have over on Twitch? We've got Evil Skink says, I know who filmed that video. Boy, it wasn't me, that's for sure, because I would have done a much better job. And Quasar said, you should be able to add hotkeys for switching scenes and stuff for convenience. Yes, I should be able to do that, and I will figure that out at some point. I don't usually have to go to my screen when I'm at this computer in the garage, but yes, I agree with you. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you especially to everyone that I begged on social media to come to the Twitch, and you did that, and now I've got higher numbers for the Twitch, and I don't know, maybe